How's it going, everybody? This is Top of Travel. Hope you're having another great day, and welcome back to another video. Okay, so I was planning on making this video on Tuesday, but there was a lot happening that day, and so I had to push it back to today. But it's time for another things that I hate. In this series, I'll talk about all the things that really seem to piss me off, whether it's just one small detail or really something that just sends me into a rage. So these are the things that tend to make me really frustrated. And this is going to be the summer edition. Now, obviously, it is the summer season, which is probably the best time for everyone because school is out. You know, it's supposed to be the best when it comes to the weather, and really there's a lot of great things that are happening over the course of the summer. But still, even then, there are a few things about summer that I just really tend to hate as I grew older. And one of the biggest things that I hate about weather is the hot weather. Now, usually I'm a guy that really enjoys the temperatures being in the high 60s to the low 70s. That's usually my kind of weather because I usually like to go out and go for a walk during that time and just really shed some weight or two. But usually when it's a lot hotter than that, that's when I really start to get annoyed. The reason why is because it is so hot that usually I just get sweaty all the time. Heck, even when I'm not even working out whatsoever, I still get sweaty for some reason because the temperature is so hot. You get a lot of days during the summer where it hits somewhere in the 80s, heck, maybe even in the 90s, or at the worst somewhere around the low 100s, which usually is very rare around up here in the Northeast, but they still happen. And sometimes that just causes a lot of sunburn and skin rash. And because of that, sunscreen. A lot that has to be applied no matter where you go, because it seems like nowadays you just can't escape going outside for a day or even just resting without potentially getting some sort of sunburn because of hot weather. I mean, really, temperatures has gone up so much over the last few years that really it's just hard to go a single day without sweating over something. I mean, this is usually one of my pet peeves because usually I shower in the morning nowadays. However, if I have to go out for a walk and I get really sweaty as a result, I have to take another shower, which is just something that I really don't like because usually 2 showers a day is not very good. Unfortunately, for most of those people that tend to work out, that's something that you're going to have to deal with quite a bit. I love the summer, but unfortunately, the hot temperatures is one of the things that I really hate the most about that. And so you're going to have to prepare to have a lot of sunscreen because otherwise there's going to be a lot of sunburn around you and also a lot of peeled skin and maybe at worst even skin cancer that you may end up getting. And I just hate that. But the hot temperatures isn't the only thing about the summer weather that I hate. It's also a season where it seems to rain the most. Usually, I would think it's the spring, but oh my goodness, the summer is a lot worse when it comes to the rain because there are a lot of days during the summer, whether it's June, July, or August, where there seems to be a whole bunch of rainy days. Not only that, it's really right in the beginning of hurricane season. I mean, usually during this time, this is when hurricanes would really tend to be at their most active, especially during the latter part of the summer. I mean, take it from me just a couple years ago when we had Hurricane Ida here. I mean, seriously, that was really bad because of all the climate change that was going on and all that stuff. Trust me, days can be ruined because of weather like that. I mean, take it from me, if you're planning to go out on a sporting event, unfortunately, there's a good possibility that if it's somewhere in the Northeast or somewhere in the Southeast, because it is in the area where most of the rainy days occur during the summer, chances are you're going to have the possibility that that event could either be canceled or maybe even pushed to the indoor location instead of just enjoying it in the summer. And I say that because Mother Nature tends to be very cruel on us here in the East Coast during the summer. I mean, it's also really harsh on the West Coast as well because that's when the temperatures are really at the scorching high levels that they are up there. And I say that because over the next week or so, there's going to be a lot of rainy days. And we at the New Jersey Symphony, we're planning a whole bunch of summer outdoor concerts at parks across North and Central Jersey. There are a lot of them that could end up being pushed indoors because there is going to be a lot of rain going on over the next week or two. And unfortunately, that really sucks because outdoor concerts are really one of my favorite things to do with the New Jersey Symphony. And the fact that we may not get any of them as a result of that, I mean, come on. That just goes to show you how bad the summer is when it comes to this kind of weather. Nobody likes rain, obviously, but unfortunately, this is happening the most during the summer. And days can be ruined because of that because it ends up canceling a lot of events. And unfortunately, you're just stuck in the house with absolutely nothing to do whatsoever. And I just hate that. To make matters worse, you also have to deal with bugs as well. And there are quite a bit of it. There's also a lot of mosquitoes that you end up having to deal with and a lot of insects. And they usually be active the most during the summer. And trust me, that's a real problem for those that are trying to avoid getting those mosquito bites and stuff. Trust me, whenever I'm out walking, obviously being sweaty is one of the things that I'm worried about the most. But also during this time, there tends to be a lot of bugs that are flying around, a whole lot of insects as well. And sometimes, you know, if that ends up anywhere on me, I'm risking the potential potentially getting some bites or something like that, or even some marks as well. And that's a little bit extra that I have to clean off my body whenever I take a shower as a result. And I just don't like having to deal with that. And they will appear anywhere. They may appear in your backyard. They may even appear anywhere that you're going around, like if it's in like a messy area, like a playground where there's a lot of trash or something like that. Heck, there's even been times where my room, I've had to clean off a lot of it because there were so many ants that were in there as well. I mean, trust me, this is a real thing. During the early part of my time here in Springfield, in this room, I've had to deal with a lot of ants that I had to clean out in my room. And it just became like a chore that I really hated. Fortunately, it's not something that I deal with too much of nowadays. But still, during the summer, mosquito season is alive and well. And unfortunately, if you're not prepared to battle those ticks, mosquitoes, bugs, and all that stuff, trust me, it ain't gonna end very well for you when it comes to the protection of your skin. And I just hate that. Obviously, this is also the season where everybody goes out and gets to see all their families as well. But hey, if that happens, it also involves a lot of very long road trips as well. And not just by car. I'm also talking about by train and also sometimes by air. And those suck because unfortunately, while you really love to go somewhere like, for example, Hershey Park, or maybe just go out of the country just to see your family, unfortunately, those long car rides are going to be very, very brutal because number one, like I said before, the hot temperatures, they are really going to play an effect on you because especially when you're in the car, the seats can feel like it's literally like 110 or 20 degrees or something like that, and your butt can literally be burning as a result. Not only that, unless you have to stop for gas or something like that, you can't just go to the bathroom anywhere. Unfortunately, your parents are likely just going to want to keep going straight until they reach their destination, so your only option at this point is to really hold it in if you really need to go to the bathroom until you get to your actual destination. And I've been through that quite a bit myself when I was a kid. It's not fun. Train rides as well, you know, they're almost equivalent with car rides because unless you reach your actual destination, if it's a very long train ride, you're going to have to find a way to hold it in as well. You can get away with it during the plane because usually in a plane ride, you have a bathroom near the back of it, obviously, that you can go to, but still, otherwise, you just got to find a way to hold it in during the entire ride all the way to your family's house or at some area that you're planning on having a vacation at. Combine all of that together, and trust me, car rides involve having to burn a lot of fuel, having to find a way not to piss on yourself whenever you're trying to get there on time without having to use the bathroom, and trust me, you also have to deal with a lot of annoyance from your siblings as well. And sometimes that can just really get on your nerves, and I just hate that. Usually during the summertime, this is when a lot of real cool TV shows and movies are on, especially with new music on the radio as well, you know. A lot of that tends to happen during the summer, but unfortunately, there are some people, especially me, that only have a certain taste for a certain amount of TV shows or movies and music. And sometimes it's just very hard to find something outside of what you really like that you can particularly enjoy during the summer. I mean, usually I'm a guy that would just surf around trying to see exactly what I would like to watch, particularly with me, you know, usually it will be game shows or maybe even a new sport, something like that, and maybe some new TV shows or something like that. But sometimes there is just absolutely nothing on TV that I really like. And sometimes when you're listening on the radio, there may be that one new song or two that you might enjoy listening to that you keep playing it when you're at home as well, whether it's on Spotify or something like that. But otherwise, sometimes it's just the same songs over and over and over again. Sometimes just listening to the same thing and watching the same thing over and over again, it just tends to get really boring after a while. Obviously, trying new things is very important. That's what usually a lot of people try to do during the summer. You know, you just try to surf around, find something that you like, but sometimes it's just very hard to do so because there's literally nothing good on TV nowadays. And this also goes back to part 2. If you want to watch something that's like a sport, however, rain ends up canceling that event, then you really have to try very hard to try to find something like an old show like Law and Order or something like that. Or otherwise, it's just going to be a very boring night for you or watching something that you feel like you probably shouldn't be watching. Trust me, unless you find something really good, it's likely the only thing that you're going to be watching all day is cartoons and all that stuff. And trust me, nobody wants to watch SpongeBob for 8 straight hours all day during the summer. I just hate that. Which leads me into the next part. Sometimes during the summer, it is very easy to get bored. Like, I know for kids, this is probably the best time of the season for them because obviously school is out during this time and you get 2 whole months after mid-June where you really have no school and you can do pretty much whatever you want. But how do you use that time wisely? That's really a problem that a lot of kids really have. And really, you know, some of them, they may be taking part in like a summer camp, obviously. Some of them may be doing like a summer sport or something like that. Or maybe even just hanging out with with friends and stuff like that, and maybe even going out to, see family, or even go to try new places and stuff like that. But sometimes it's just really hard to think of something that you can really do. And just like I also said with part 2, the weather plays a big factor in it as well. I mean, if you're not a guy that personally enjoys going out, I mean, the best that you can do is, like, if you have like a pool in your backyard, like for example the home that I live in does, obviously you can probably just hold like a barbecue or two and just have like a pool party or something like that. I mean, that might be fun, but sometimes, you just keep going to the same restaurants over and over again. You just keep watching the same things over and over again, and sometimes, it just feels like that you're just putting everything on repeat for some reason. I mean, laying on your bed all day during the summer every single day of the week is probably not something that everybody wants to do, but there are some times where it just ends up leaning towards that point, because it's just very hard to find something to do during the summer just to keep yourself active and entertained. So unless you're going out walking, or maybe going to see a movie and just, like doing something that really allows you to pass that time, it just becomes very hard for you to get out of the house during the summer. Trust me, boredom is really, really common, and unfortunately, if you're not finding something to do, it's just going to be very hard for you to really have a good summer. I've been through that way too many times during my days, and I just hate that. And when there's boredom, it leads to loneliness as well, because usually during this time, this is the season where everybody gets to hang out with their friends and family outside the house and, just have a lot of fun. But unfortunately, as I said before, there are some people that don't have a whole lot of friends, and sometimes you just feel like that there's absolutely nothing that you can do, because it's just very hard to get out of the house and just have like a hangout or two with them. Most of the time, if you're like a school student or something like that, you're probably stuck with a summer job in which you're having to do a lot of physical labor or something like that. Or if you're a grown-up like I am, sometimes you're just stuck at a 9-to-5 job, and the only way for you to really get lucky and be able to go out and hang out with your friends is really just go out at a late-night dinner or something like that. But, that's not something that everybody wants to do every single day. They want to just mix it up and have a lot of fun. Unfortunately, those days in which you have to be at the office every single day, that can tend to create a lot of loneliness sometimes. And really, it just feels like, it's just very hard to be able to call all of your friends and just ask to see if you want to go see a movie with them, or maybe hang out at a park and even see, a sporting event or a concert like that. Because unfortunately, it just takes so much of your time every single day. I mean, literally the weekends on Saturday and Sundays, that's probably the only times where you're really going to get the opportunity to really just go out and really just have a lot of fun with your friends, unless you're working retail during the weekends, which obviously that's not fun at all. That's why building relationships and friendships is important, and I'm proud to have those relationships with the colleagues that I have at the New Jersey Symphony, because I'm able to celebrate a lot of things during the summer, especially those summer concerts, and also just a whole bunch of other things that are going on as well. And really the same thing should apply to everybody else, especially if they're at other jobs like mine, or even at school as well, because you only live once, and if you don't make the most of every single day, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to maintain those relationships when you're out of school, or if you move on to another location. And sometimes it just makes it very hard during the summer to be able to catch up with them. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that tend to struggle with that, and I myself am one of them as well. And unfortunately, loneliness can be a major factor when it comes to finding something during the summer for you and your friends to enjoy. Trust me, it is hard for me to be able to do that because of that situation, and I just hate that. But obviously, the thing that I hate most about summer is that it is not forever. I mean, trust me, I would love for every month of the year to be really summer weather, just go out, really have a lot of fun, and just enjoy life. But unfortunately, it's not that way. I say that because obviously you have the three other seasons, which is the fall that comes after it, which is when it starts to get really cold, the winter when it's probably at its worst when it comes to the freezing temperatures and all the snow, and then obviously the spring. But hey, I mean, summer, like I said, if you're a student, it's the best time of the year. No school, you just get to do whatever the heck you want. But unfortunately, it's just very hard to do that every single year whenever you get older and older and older. Because once you end up hitting your 9-to-5 job like I am at right now, it's just going to feel very hard for you to be able to enjoy summer and really just spend the time just, finding a lot of great things to do. Because as you get older, work becomes more and more of your priority, as well as your family as well. And unfortunately, as a result, it's just hard for you to be able to find more things to do to really enjoy your summer as you get older. I mean, trust me, I would love for summer to be like every single month, because that way, you really don't have to worry about school. And also, if it's, for example, like if we end up getting like a shortened work day, like for example, 4 days a week and just have like 1 day off, obviously, then that allows you extra time to be able to really try to find something to do with your friends and family and all that stuff. But unfortunately, it's just not like that. Summertime is only 3 months a year. And I really wished, obviously, that it wasn't the case and that it would be longer than that. Because come September, if you're a student, the one thing that you dread is having to go back to school. And if you're somebody that's in a 9-to-5 job like me, well, unfortunately, I don't know how you're going to be able to enjoy your summer, because you're pretty much going to be in the office every single day. Same thing goes if you're in retail, and trust me, it is a lot worse working in retail during the summer than it is at a 9-to-5 job. 9-to-5 jobs are usually pretty boring, but working in retail during the summer, if you're working outside, it can be really, really brutal. The summertime is really the best season of the year. Everybody enjoys it. Everybody wants to have a lot of fun, but unfortunately, you have to use that time wisely, because it is not forever. And once the end of the summer comes around, it's going to fly by very, very fast. And it's going to be the same exact thing every single year until the year that you ultimately die. And unfortunately, as you get older, it's just going to be very hard for you to be able to enjoy summer. I wish that it was a lot longer, but unfortunately, it is not. It is only 3 months a year, and you just got to manage it the best you can. Otherwise, you're just going to be bored. Every single summer, you got to deal with a lot of the hot temperatures and the bad weather, and unfortunately, you're just going to feel like that there's going to be absolutely nothing for you to do. And it's just going to be that same repeating track over and over and over again until the day that you reach old age, and ultimately, you end up buried 6 feet down in your local cemetery. Trust me, I hate that. Alright, that's my rant for today. Obviously, the summertime is that best time of the year. If you really enjoy summer, hey, go out of the house and have a lot of fun. This is obviously the year where everybody will really enjoy their time off and just have a lot of fun. But still, there are still a lot of things about summer that can really ruin your day. So I really want to hear from all of you guys. What is the thing about summer that you hate the most? Feel free to let me know down in the comments below, and I'll be more interested in hearing your opinions about it. Anyways, that's going to do it for another video. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when my latest video is released. Comment below for future suggestions for all my videos, whether it's vlogs, projects, or challenges, you name it. Leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to make them. As always, follow me on my social media. All the links are in the description below. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you're having another great day. As always, I hope to see you all again in another video very soon. So long, everybody.